Hi, most everybody knows me as Linda Waite's husband, Jim, or Linda's husband, I should say, but my name is Jim. I am the younger, quieter one in our marriage. She is the older, and I don't think I can say louder, but older, more outgoing. How about that? So I received a text the other night, and I came out of our bedroom and I said to Linda, I said, hey, I got this text and it said, do you want to make a video, Tom? And she rolled her eyes and looked at me and said, okay, what did I tell you? You don't accept candy from strangers, one thing. And the other thing you don't do is you don't do videos with guys we don't know. And I said, no, I think it's Tom Hughes, so it should be okay. And Linda said, well, I'm fine with that as long as you get paid. And I don't think it's that kind of video. So Tom actually asked me to do a faith journey video of my journey to where I'm at today in my faith. So I want to start out by saying I come from a big family of 8 with my parents, and we were really a churchless family. We didn't really have a church or anything else that we went to, and so I had never really got into church until I was 17. I joined the Army, and I was injured in the military, so I got moved and stationed to Fort Knox Medical Hospital, and at that time, if you were willing and able, you could do jobs in the hospital, and on Sundays you could get out of those jobs by going to church, and so that was one of the reasons why I did. So I didn't really get that much out of church at that time until 1993. I married this beautiful Catholic woman, so she got me involved in going to the Catholic Church, and we've got 2 beautiful children that look like me. They're 23 and 21, Zach and Krista, and so we really got into the Catholic Church, and I did the big thing for me though is that I didn't really get into it as much. I didn't feel like I really understood or really could really relate to some of the things that they were talking about. And I said to Linda one day, I said, is there any way that we could do a Bible study, or is there a church out there that we could go to where we could learn more about the Bible? I want someone to explain the Bible to me, and I'd like to be able to read it, even though I'm more of a movie kind of guy, and I'd rather watch the Bible on TV or something rather than read it. And so we always talked about it, but it was just between us two. And a couple months went by, and a friend of mine called me up out of the blue and said, hey Jim, I'm getting baptized at a Pentecostal church in Anamosa, Iowa. And he goes, I'd really like it if you would be my witness. And I said, yeah, sure, I'll be there for you, it's no problem. And so I went there, and it was the full submersion baptism, and it was really cool. I got there, and everybody had their Bible, they were reading, and I thought, wow, this is a really cool church. And so when I was getting ready to leave, the lead pastor, they go by Brother George, and Brother Breedlove, who is the associate, stopped me and said, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? And I said, sure. And he said, you live in Cedar Rapids, right? And I said, yeah. And he said, okay. He said, God has really touched my heart to talk to you. And I kind of took a step back and was a little surprised. And he said that God had come to me and said, I want this kid and to be involved in Bible study or Bible reading. And he said, is this something you ever thought about? And I sat there and I got goosebumps and was just in awe. I was shocked, and because the only person I'd ever mentioned anything to was Linda. And I said, yeah, I'd definitely be interested in that. And he said, well, Brother Breedlove, Scott, is starting a Bible study where you read the Bible from front to back in a year, and he'd love it if you would think about going to that. And so I did, and it was an amazing experience, changed my life, and eventually I ended up getting baptized in the Pentecostal church as an adult, because I never knew if I was baptized as a child or not. Brother Breedlove, Scott, went on to open up a church in Cedar Rapids, and now he's actually got one he's starting in Missouri. But from that, we learned so much, and I was just blown away by the experience. Linda and I then were going to Pentecostal and Catholic services, and we decided, we need to find something in between, and so we did. What we found is that we found that Shueyville United Methodist was just a great fit for us. It gave me a lot more of the Bible aspect, and have great conversations with Tom Carver at the time. It gave Linda more exposure to something that was similar to like a Catholic service, but then also the social and outreach pieces of it, which were just a great experience for us. And then from that, obviously, we've grown, and now we're here at the Prairie Bible Church, which, by the way, I'd love to change to Prairie Bible Gym, then it would be PBJ, but we'll keep it at Prairie Bible Church. And so that's really my faith-based story, is from where I started to where I got to here. I will tell you that I've read the Bible many times. There's so much still to learn. I'm fascinated every time I read it. There's no right or wrong answers. When Linda and I look at different verses in the Bible, what she gets out of it is so different than what I get out of it. And it really comes back to when God is ready to teach you something, he will teach you and show you that in the Bible. And it's very, very cool. So I think my three big takeaways for everybody is one, first off, I want to say if anybody's ever got any questions or anything to me or for me about faith, I love talking about it, so please let me know. But probably the number one thing is, God is amazing. He does amazing things. If you open up your mind, your heart, your eyes, and your ears and really listen, you'd be amazed at what he shows you every single day, miracles day in and day out. We are so thankful for him in the great times, and then even in the bad times, we're thankful for him. But the other thing is that he obviously hears you, and that just was shown in my life multiple times over and over and over. So that's one thing. Please listen to God. The next thing is Bible studies, or even like what we've talked about here, life groups, are a great thing to get involved in. You've got all these different levels of experience, but you can learn. Even though I've been reading the Bible now since really '97, I still learn something every single time I read it, and so you can get so much out of that. And probably the last thing is that if you ever get a text about doing a video with Tom, make sure either A, you charge him, depending on what kind of video, or B, please do the video, because this is just a great experience to get out there and tell everybody your story, because each one of us has a different story when we go through this. So I just want to thank everybody, and that's all I've got.